You've got that brilliant business idea, right? But then, what's next? It can feel like you're just standing in a giant empty field with no idea where to even start. Well, that's what we're tackling today. We are going to break down the absolute fundamentals for launching your business step by step. So let's just jump right in. When you think start a business, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's the product, right? The cool service, the big idea. But what if I told you that's not actually the first brick you should lay? Because here's the thing. Before you build anything, you need a blueprint, a really detailed plan that shows you exactly how everything fits together. And in business, that blueprint is your set of business requirements. It's the plan that makes sure what you build is strong, functional, and actually ready to succeed. So first things first, we've got to create that blueprint. This is where we figure out what a business requirement even is and how it acts as the architectural plan for your entire company. Okay, so what are we really talking about? A business requirement is, pretty simply, something the business absolutely needs to do or have, just to function and give customers the most value possible. This isn't some vague goal. It's a foundational need. You miss one, and the whole thing could get a little wobbly. And every single requirement, every line in that blueprint is made of three key parts. First, there's a process you have to complete, something like process a customer's payment. Then, you've got the data you need for that, like the credit card info. And finally, there are the rules that govern it, like decline any transaction over $1,000. Process, data, and rules. That's the magic formula. Now, drawing up this blueprint isn't something you do alone in a dark room. It's a real process. You start by taking this huge goal, start a business, and you break it down into smaller, bite-sized pieces. You figure out how you're going to tackle it. You estimate the work, and this is crucial. You brainstorm with the people who will actually be doing the job. That keeps your plan totally grounded in reality. All right, blueprint is done. Now it's time to actually lay the foundation and start bringing in the tools. We're talking about where you'll set up shop and the essential gear you're going to need to get started. You know, picking a location is so much more than just finding a cool-looking space. You have to think strategically. Are you close to your suppliers? Can your customers actually get to you? Is the power reliable? Believe it or not, even local tax policies can make or break your bottom line. And of course, it doesn't matter how great your spot is if you don't have the right tools for the job. We're talking about the gear that's going to power your business day in and day out. Yeah, this stuff might seem kind of basic, but getting it right from the get-go is so important. A good phone system, the right computers with the right software, a rock-solid internet connection, these are basically the hammers and nails of any modern business. They're totally non-negotiable. Okay, you've got the blueprint, you've got the foundation. Now you need the crew, the people who are actually going to build this thing. Because let's be honest, the most amazing plan in the world is totally useless without the right team to make it happen. It's time to build your A-team. Recruitment is way, way more than just slapping a job ad online. It's a whole process designed to find the best people for the job and to do it without wasting time or money. Getting this part wrong, it can be one of the most expensive mistakes a new business ever makes. And it really is a system, kind of like a funnel. You know, the step that most people skip is the very first one, job design. If you don't figure out exactly what you need that role to do, you'll spend the whole time looking for the wrong person. Everything else flows from that one crucial step. And remember, hiring doesn't happen in a bubble. You're always juggling internal stuff, like your budget, with external things like what's happening in the job market. For instance, your budget might be tight, but if unemployment is super low, you might have to offer more money just to get great talent. It's a constant push and pull. So, your team is in place. Now, they're going to need stuff to work with. Let's talk about purchasing, which is really the art of getting all the goods and services your business needs to actually do its thing. One of the first big calls you'll have to make is how you're going to buy things. With a centralized model, one team buys for everybody, which can get you better deals and more control. With a decentralized one, each department buys its own stuff, which is usually faster. So you're trading off control versus speed. The right answer really just depends on your business. Now, to keep everything organized and, legal, you're going to lean on two key documents. The first is a purchase order, or a PO. Just think of this as your official order. It's a binding document you send to a seller that says, hey, I officially want to buy this much of this thing at this price. Then, after the seller delivers the goods, they send you the second document, an invoice, and that's the bill.
So the purchase order is the order, and the invoice is the request for payment. They're two sides of the very same coin. And that brings us to the final, super critical piece of this puzzle. Where do all these materials and goods come from anyway? It's time to talk about finding the right suppliers, the partners who will literally provide the lifeblood of your business.
It is so tempting to just pick the supplier with the cheapest price, but honestly, that's a total rookie mistake. I mean, price is a big deal, of course, but look at this. Product quality and reliability are almost just as important. A cheap supplier who's always late isn't a bargain, it's a headache. The key here is that it's a balancing act, not just a race to the bottom on price. And really, this says it all, doesn't it? You simply cannot create a high-quality product out of low-quality stuff. Your suppliers are a direct reflection of your own commitment to quality. You've got to choose them wisely. So there we have it. We started with the blueprint, your business requirements. We laid the foundation by picking a location and getting the right tools. We put together the team through smart recruitment, and we sourced all the materials with a solid purchasing plan. All the core pieces are right there. You now have the architectural plan for a successful business. You know the steps, you know what to look out for, you know all the components. That empty field isn't so scary anymore, is it? So the only question left is the most exciting one of all. What are you going to build?